Bang bang. Here we are from LA to
Yo, what's
UK,
up, man?
episode two.
Paulie TV.
Paulie
Yo,
TV.
Paul, what are we calling this? LA to BK?
Yeah, this
But
is
we're in
episode
Plant City,
two.
Florida.
Yeah. We got the whole house here. We got me, Jimmy, the producer. We got Nick, audio guy. We got Austin. He's on the left. He's actually Sicilian.
Quarter
But-
Sicilian.
a
Don't
quarter
give me
All
too
right.
much credit.
Quarter Sicilian. And
All
then we
right.
got Clint right there. Big
what's
man
up?
on campus.
There it is.
Bang bang. Uh,
Boom.
immediate
That's
reaction.
how we do it.
Jake Paul.
Yeah, I mean,
Wait. Moment of silence.
what do we got?
We have a moment of silence
Moment of silence.
for Tommy Fury.
There it is. There it is.
And now, moment of biggest fight of his life for Hasim.
I mean,
Rahman Jr.
yeah, I guess this is kind of interesting, man, because Rockman Jr., he's the son of the ex-heavyweight champion. I mean, Hasim Rockman was a good fighter in his time. Was able to knock out Lennox Lewis. He lost the rematch, but he was heavyweight champion for about a half a year at one time in his career, and he had some big fights in his career. He fought Holyfield, fought David Tua twice. So the son of a very good fighter is Rockman Jr. Uh, Interesting. I hadn't heard of Rockman Jr. in a while, to tell you the truth. I didn't even know he was still around. I don't know anything about him of late. Has he been active? I mean, maybe the viewers can even tell us. And last time I remember hearing about Rockman Jr. was I think when he sued Mayweather. I think he was the one that sued Mayweather for those like half-hour straight sparring sessions they used to do in that gym, where I think he felt like he got abused. That was some weird, man. I don't remember the details. Probably some of the viewers or listeners can help me out with that. It's such a long time ago now.
He was
But
on All
I can actually,
Access years back. That's what they're saying.
yeah, yeah. How old is he now?
He's 31.
Yeah, because I can remember in 2006, a few months before I fought Cotto, I was at the James Toney Hasim Rockman fight, and I think that fight ended in a draw. But I can remember Rockman's son coming up to me. I didn't know it was Rockman's son, which I think might be Rockman Jr. And he said, "Who you got tonight?" And I said, "I like Tony." And he's like, "Ah, man." He's like, "Rockman's my father." I'm like, "Nah." I was like, and I remember thinking like, "Nah." I mean, it's a good fight, whatever. I kind of felt bad. I guess he wanted my genuine opinion. But I don't know. I don't know if that was the son that was asking me that question. Like, I don't know a lot about Rockman Jr., but I remember one of Rockman's sons suing Floyd as well. So I don't know if this is all the same guy. Maybe some of the listeners can kind of fill me in on this. But interesting choice nonetheless. I mean, this is a real boxer. I did not think Tommy Fury was a real boxer. I mean, Rockman Jr. has been boxing. I mean, I don't know how active he's been, but nonetheless, this is a guy who intended to make a career for himself in boxing, even if it hasn't panned out for him. So. This is not Tommy Fury, who essentially was the same as Jake Paul, despite what the British media tabloids tried to sell us on that Tommy Fury was the first real boxer Jake Paul was fighting. That was actually a false narrative. Tommy Fury was not the first real boxer Jake Paul was going to fight. Tommy Fury was the exact same thing Jake Paul was, a reality guy who was boxing. Rockman Jr., regardless of anything, still is a guy who was intending to box at one time in his career and try to make a career out of it. So, it's certainly very interesting.
Um, First reaction. Who do you got?
My first reaction is I stumbled upon an article. I sent you that today, Jimmy, where Jake Paul was asked about guys like me calling him out back in February and somebody else, I don't know who, but then he said I don't know who any of those guys are or something like that. Everybody's calling me out. Dude, you can't say you don't know who I am and then you fight Hasim Rockman Jr., bro. You can't do that. You got to figure out a better excuse than that, bro. you, you can't you can't come with the I don't know who he is excuse and then fight a guy that literally nobody knew who he was. Then fight a guy that nobody knows who he is. Actually, can't do that. You got to figure out a better excuse. So that's first and foremost. But I don't know. I mean, I remember, I remember you sent me a video of Jake Paul doing doing the pads in Gleason's gym not that long ago, maybe about a month ago, underneath my banner, and he looked pretty good on those pads. I assume he's getting better. I know BJ Flores has worked with him, over these years, and I know BJ was a solid fighter himself. Somebody I was in the amateurs with, somebody I won the nationals with back in 2001. He won them at his weight class. I won them at my weight class, the U.S. championships in '01. So back when we were amateurs. So I know he's got a team around him that's got a pretty good pedigree. I know Jalen Love was on his team and probably a couple of other guys. So you know if he's putting in the work, which I from that pad session, a little bit of pad session that I saw on that video, he does look like he's getting sharper. His punches are snapping off well. And he's getting better. I mean, we'll see if he can put it together inside the ring now. And it's one thing to look good on the pads and one thing to look good on the bag. But somebody else hits you back. Rockman Jr., like I said, I can't really put a gauge on him. I would think this is still a tough fight, regardless of where Rockman Jr.'s level is at. I gotta do my research on Rockman Jr. at this point. I don't know how he's looked in his career or whatnot, but nonetheless, he's been a guy who's been boxing pretty much his whole life. So I would think this is certainly a challenge and a step up for Jake Paul, even if he's fighting somebody that nobody knows who he is. And then he says, when people ask him about name fighters, he doesn't know who they are. Despite that,
It's kind of like the Chavez situation, like if he was going to fight Chavez, but Chavez is way more legit, right?
no, I mean Chavez Jr. Chavez Jr. is terrible by the standards of a world champion, but he was still a world champion. You know what I mean? I mean Rockman Jr. is, certainly levels below Chavez Jr. So it's certainly not the same level.
Hey, Paul.
I would have, yeah.
Paul, you said that Jake was looking sharp and definitely getting better. Like from an outside perspective, at least mine, is he not like a solid boxer at this point? Because for all the shit he's taken, I mean, my guy is 5-0 with 4 knockouts, and none of them were
Yeah,
really that close.
yeah, yeah. No, he's done pretty well. I mean, I thought he was losing the Woodley fight, the Woodley rematch when he got the knockout.
Sure.
Thought he was struggling a little bit, but he did show me some character, which I'd like to see in that. I do like to see you when you're in some trouble, how you react, because especially when you're a guy who's already kind of has a foundation financially, like Jake does. Those kind of guys typically they don't really want to suffer once they're kind of comfortable financially, and Jake has that. But in the meantime, Jake dug down and got the knockout against Woodley in a fight where he was having to really bite on his mouthpiece and get through. I don't think he looked good. I think he certainly had a lot to work on after that fight. And on the pads he looks great. So we'll see if that can translate into some of those improvements in the ring. But I do like that he showed me character in the Woodley fight because there's guys like Conor McGregor who's made money and have absolutely no balls once they actually do have somebody step up in their face and cause them to struggle and cause them to suffer a little bit. Jake actually bit down on his mouthpiece, hung in that fight, and then call it a lucky shot, call it what you want. He still had the wherewithal to dig in his heels into that fight in a fight where he was fatigued and had a guy pressuring him, and he got the knockout. So you still have to credit him with the character he showed, despite the generally average skills he still has. But we'll see. We'll see those improvements because, like I said, that paid session I saw a month ago, he looked good to me. But again, when you don't have somebody punching you back, it's very different. And again, Rockman Jr. is a guy who, no matter what you might think of him, he's still been around boxing and has been a boxer pretty much his whole life.
Who's your take? I mean, you taking Jake? I'm taking Jake.
I got Jake.
I don't know, man. I don't know enough about Rockman Jr., man. It's like, the only thing I know about Rockman Jr., I didn't even know he was still active or fighting, honestly.
Well,
when was Rockman Jr.'s last fight?
His last fight was at the Virgin Hotel in Las Vegas in 2022 in April, and he lost a TKO to the vacant World Boxing Council U.S. heavy title. So he got stopped by James Mackenzie Morrison, who was 19-0.
What was his record?
James Mackenzie Morrison is 19-0 with 2 draws.
Wow. And what the hell's the WBC US heavyweight title? What is that?
It's the US NBC heavyweight title, so I guess.
Oh, okay. That's like the weakest version of the BC regional belts. But still, nonetheless, he was in a 10-round fight. You know what? Regardless, he's 12-1 with a loss against a 19-0 guy. This is...
He lost to Tommy Morrison's son. That's what they're saying in the comments.
Mackenzie lost Tommy Morrison's son?
No, Rahman, right?
No, Rahman.
Oh, so what's Rockman's record?
He's 12-1.
I thought you said he lost to McKenzie in March as well.
That was his last fight. That was his first loss.
And then who lost to Tommy Morrison's son?
Jimmy, did you mean Morrison instead of McKenzie?
No, I swear I meant McKenzie. It's James McKenzie Morrison. Yeah, that's his
Oh,
son.
Mackenzie Morrison. All right. Why does this guy have two last names? If your last name is Morrison, you got to go with the Morrison.
Can't trust a guy
You know?
with two last names.
Facts though. That's facts.
Yeah. Man. All right. Now I'm caught up. All right, so it was the son of Tommy Morrison against the son of Hasim Rahman. Wow. All right, they must have sold the shit out of that one in terms of the ex-heavyweight champions fighting each other. Tommy Morrison's son. All right. I mean, listen. Regardless, he's got a loss. His only loss is to undefeated guy. Yo, listen, this is on paper it's a step up. We'll see. Honestly, this is really interesting. This is a real. They got a lot of confidence in Jake if they're making this move. I gotta say.
I mean,
I'm gonna go do my. I'm gonna do my. Huh?
That's his MO, though. Looks good on paper, step up, but not.
Yeah, but no. I mean, this is. I would have thought he would have went up against like a journeyman or something. But. This is still, when you're 12-1, you still kind of have the prospect on your mind. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's still,
Isn't
you can still be considered
like 8-0 or 9-0 though, and you yourself.
Yeah,
just
but
said that
he's
nothing, right?
Yeah, but he's not been around boxing his whole life. He's been more reality guy. He's like people think because his name's Fury. Like the British media was trying to sell him on him being a boxer because his last name's Fury and he got a few pro fights. But that's the same exact thing Jake Paul's been doing. He's a reality guy who just got into boxing and had a few pro fights. Tommy did the same exact thing. But because his last name was Fury and he's related to Tyson Fury, people actually bought into the fact that he might be actually a real boxer, but he was just as much a boxer as Jake. On the other hand, Rahman Jr. is a guy who has been around boxing his whole life. So, and his father was heavyweight champion. And like I said, I can remember him for years being in and around boxing, whether, he didn't get that far or not, obviously, but nonetheless, he still got a 12-1 record and his only loss is to an undefeated guy. So on paper, it looks pretty good, man. This is interesting. This is actually a risk, bro. I don't know. I gotta have more of a look at Hasim Rahman Jr. This is really interesting. And what did he weigh at? He fought for the U.S. NBC heavyweight title.
Yeah. So he right now is currently the 219th ranked heavyweight in the world, 54th in the US.
Yeah, but forget what BoxRec ranks him. He fought at what weight?
He fought
a heavyweight.
Yeah, he fought at heavy for the U.S. NBC heavy title.
So, Jake's fighting like a 200-pound guy?
Yeah.
Jake's 200, no?
Jake's 190.
He's 190.
Yeah, but still, Jake's been fighting like undersized guys too, who were not boxers, right?
This is true.
Now he's fighting a boxer who's like his size, maybe bigger.
He's 6'3".
This is crazy. This is, you got to give him credit. He's trying.
Is this
you know what I'm saying? Like this.
Is this Canelo Bivol?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, on a much lower level of skill, maybe. But bro, this is crazy. This is pretty wild stuff, bro. This is, I don't know, bro. I gotta give him credit, man. I mean,
respect.
The way,
respect for it.
This is pretty. This is pretty interesting, bro. I gotta say, this is pretty interesting.
Safe to say you'll be watching, Paulie.
Yeah, man. When is it? August 6th in the Garden, bro. Let's get some. Actually, no, bro. You know what? I don't even think I can go. I think I have a
It's a Showtime
pro box show. Can you imagine? I might be the night of a pro box show.
And I think it's a Showtime fight, Paul.
And it's a show. Oh, and that's a Showtime fight. All right, I can't go anyway yet. I can't make the appearances. I can't make the appearances.
In the comments, Gus Fring in the comments is saying if this fight is real, Rahman will stop him. Is it Rahman? Am I saying it right?
I think it's
Rahman.
Rahman.
Mm-hmm.
And then, is this more intriguing to you than the Tyron Woodley rematch?
I would say so.
Yeah.
Woodley was a wrestler.
Yeah, it's a step up in class.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a guy who knows how to throw his punches. He's been a boxer. Yeah, I mean, maybe the guy who made that comment knows more about Rahman than me. Like I said, I didn't even know Rahman was still active. I've heard his name in and around the sport, but I hadn't really heard a lot about him since I remember him suing Mayweather. If that's the same brother, because I think there's a bunch of brothers in the Rahman family. But I remember one of them sued Mayweather.
I know somebody in the comments put why he sued Mayweather. I wonder.
It was over a sparring session.
Yeah, it was the 31-minute party sparring session
instead of 30.
I guess
that's why he got sued.
No, I mean that in that gym, I remember Honestly, bro, like a lot of gyms have used to do that. Now people just got soft. Like used to close the doors, and it was like you just keep going, and you just test your stamina, you test your will. It was like and plus you do it in front of everybody, so you can't, you don't want to back down. And I guess I don't know, bro. He accepted doing that. You can't accept the fact that you got in there. Nobody forced you to get in there, and then you sue. But that was another thing altogether because that kind of broke the relationship with him and Mayweather. And honestly, it closed a lot of doors for him too.
I can only imagine.
So you're saying that was suing him was more to get the bag than it was a career move.
Yeah, yeah. I think he thought like he was cloud chasing, but in reality, he closed the cloud doors
We're at
on
145
himself.
views right now. By the way, we're climbing. Keep hitting that
Right.
like, comment, share. We're live here. Responding to Jake Paul fighting a real boxer.
Finally.
Mm-hmm.
Finally fighting a real boxer. Paulie's take. And
Yep.
your first take is you're taking Rahman. I'm
I'm
getting
taking
that
it
vibe
later.
off you.
Yeah.
I'm
Honestly,
getting that vibe.
I mean, I don't know, bro. I have to look into Rockman more. But this is on paper, from what I'm gathering, this is going to be a tough fight.
And
This is a big. I mean, I give this guy credit, man. I mean, he's trying. He's not trying to. I mean, I don't know.
Problem
I guess-
6-0. 6-0 with 5
Is he?
KOs.
I don't know, bro. Well, how many rounds is the fight?
that's we're still so somebody in the comments is asking pound for pound king. So apparently in the last fight, Paul had a contract that said he's not allowed to get knocked out against Woodley. Can that actually be worked in the in contract?
No,
No.
you can't put that in the contract. That's it's a lot of that's like some TMZ bullshit. You know? Mm.
Yeah,
You can't
after
put that in the
consulting
contract.
with my common sense, that's bullshit.
Yeah.
I mean, Nate, what
Yeah.
is the difference? I mean, imagine putting Nate Robinson against Rahman.
Yeah. Rockman.
Rockman.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, in Rockman, you got a guy who's comfortable in the ring, who's comfortable having punches come his way. I don't know, bro. Yo, I mean, I give Jake Paul credit, but this is a tough one. I don't know.
What
On paper,
red vine is that?
huh?
What red vine is that? What number?
What, Red Vine?
What number?
What do you mean? What number? What? The candy?
How many you ate?
Oh, I don't know, bro.
Eaten.
Maybe like 5. This is my last one.
Paulie, do you think Speedy Rashidi will have a big name fight?
Who?
Speedy Rashidi.
Rashidi?
Mhm.
Ellis?
Yeah.
I don't know. He's been having issues with the contract with Golden Boy or something, bro. I don't know what's going on with that. That kid's a good fighter, but I don't know. The problem is, I don't think they have anybody to match him with because that Golden Boy, they kind of just only matched it among their own stable. I mean, Rashidi Ellis certainly deserves a shot at some kind of fight. He's a good fighter, but he's just kind of wasting away his years, man. It's crazy.
He's with PBC now.
Is he?
Yeah.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
He's with PBC.
All right.
I wanted to ask
I want to
you
see him.
how PBC. It was like how does that work with promotions? Remember we were talking about it at the Hall of Fame. Like,
Yeah.
Heyman, does he still buy those dates out?
Who?
Heyman, or does he still own those dates?
No, he doesn't buy them anymore. No. He was buying them for a while, but he doesn't own them anymore. He doesn't buy them anymore. Now he makes deals. And he was never buying the Showtime deals. So, Showtime actually pays for the fights they put on from Heyman. But then at Fox, he also has a deal where they buy the fights. No, he doesn't. He's not paying for the dates anymore. But I think he was under the impression that he was going to buy all the time dates, all the dates from all the networks, and then the networks, when those deals were up, he was under the impression that maybe all those networks were going to then give him the dates and pay for the dates. But the problem is he didn't put enough good fights on those networks when he was paying for it himself, and that then when the deals expired, the networks didn't want anything to do with it. Personally, now with my 41-year-old mind, I don't know why he did that, and and bought the time on the networks, spent all that money, because with all that money he could have probably just bought out the promoters and been the only become the only game in town. But I don't know, maybe he wasn't sure he'd be able to then get all the dates for so many fighters in a stable if he bought out all the promoters, if he didn't have the money, because maybe he wasn't sure that he'd be able to acquire enough dates to run boxing. I don't know. Because looking back, I mean, I retired to 2020, and obviously I'm a little older now, but if I had that kind of money, I'd probably be looking to buy out the promoters and not buy the time on the networks.
Hey, True Boxing King, shout
That's just
out,
me.
super chat.
Go crazy, True Boxing
Your next
Kings.
candy is on me, Paulie LOL. Got $5 super chat. And they're saying that I just pinned Tyson the dog is on the same diet as Eddie Reynoso.
Yo, man, tell you what, I was giving Tyson some good walks when I was in New York, man. I mean, I was making him walk some miles, bro. That little guy has to lose some weight. He's getting old. He's getting arthritic on me, bro. His back legs. When he wakes up from sleep and he gets up a little slow now. He doesn't have that same pep in his step.
Paulie, what's Woodbridge? What's Woodbridge?
Woodbridge?
People keep asking you
What, Jersey?
if you're gonna come back.
Well, Woodbridge is Toronto. Toronto, yeah, there's a big Italian area in Toronto called Woodbridge. Major Italian area in Toronto. The problem with Canada is I can't get in, guys. I have some arrests on my record, and they always give me problems at the border.
Yeah, they're
So I need some sort of letter like that I'm going there for some kind of work. Even when I used to get works there, when Showtime used to do the Adonis Stevenson fights, I used to always get stopped at customs, and I had to get letters made. There's all kinds of bullshit, really, because it's not like I did jail time. I got arrested. Yeah, but I got to have like a professional appointment there or something. What am I going to do over to Woodbridge for, to watch the World Cup? Actually, Italy's not even in the World Cup, so what am I really going to Woodbridge for? I would have loved to go there during the World Cup or something and have checked that out. But even then, I don't think I'd be able to get into that country.
Said Drake will get
Plus,
you in.
plus, honestly, Trudeau is a jerk off. Not that Biden isn't, but Trudeau's a real jerk off. Yeah. I don't know.
I think the
not that
truckers would
Biden's much
agree with
better,
you over
but
there, man.
yeah, but I don't know.
You're in Plant City right now.
So
What's going
yeah,
on?
but I would have loved to see. I see some posts on Instagram with Woodbridge. It looks amazing. When it looks highly Italian cultured. I really like it. I mean, I think Canada in general has a nice, cool Italian population. There's a lot of Italian Canadians down in Florida. Actually, I go to a cafe in Pompano. It's full of Italian Canadian guys, and it's really cool. Like
Mets
one of those Italian cafes,
2300.
like the old espresso cafes, huh?
Mets 2300. Mets with a Z is asking you, Paulie, how much you would run and how far in your prime.
I ran 6 days a week, 3 to 5 miles. It depended on the intensity because I always ran at night. On my day off, sometimes I would take off, and there were times where on my day off, if I was feeling good, I'd do like a long run instead. I'd do like a 7 or 8 mile run. But a lot of time that was only once or twice at camp, if that. But the 3 to 5 mile runs were dependent on the intensity I had in the gym because I always ran at night, late at night sometimes, like 1 a.m. and not in the mornings. And what I would do when I would run, if the day at the gym had been really intense, or if I had a hard strength training workout, for example, on top of the boxing gym, I'd run those miles very slow. If I had a not so intense day at the gym, I'd run those miles faster. It depends because I didn't want to burn out my legs, so I always adjusted my runs depending on how hard the gym had been, because I always wanted my first energy to be used in the gym, in the boxing gym, because just in case I wasn't sharp, I didn't want to wonder if it was because I ran too hard in the morning or something. I wanted it, if I wasn't sharp in the gym, I wanted to know in my mind that, okay, it's me, I'm not sharp, I got to get better, as opposed to having the possibility of saying, well, maybe I ran too hard this morning, maybe I got to, lay off the miles before I come to the gym. And, just having that psychosis going through my mind, because boxing is very psychological. So that's how it works for me.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's saying, as Mickey would say, they're all bums. I don't even know what that meant. Scary. So a bigger guy against
Mickey's from Rocky, bro. Mickey was Rocky's trainer. Come on, bro.
So he's calling. Mickey would say that all of Jake Paul's opponents have been bums. Have been the
Stepping
bums.
stones.
Well, I mean, Jake Paul isn't exactly a guy who's had a long amateur career. You got to understand, Jake is sort of an anomaly, right? Because he's not a guy who came into boxing with a long amateur career that you follow. You're following him because he's got a huge social media presence, and all of a sudden there's a big interest in him. So you got to kind of judge him by the standard that he's developing, and he's developing in front of everybody because he came into the sport already famous. So he doesn't have to use the sport to get famous. He's already famous. So you're going to follow him, but you also have to take him from the perspective that he didn't have the amateur career to develop his boxing. So he's sort of developing right in front of our eyes. So you can't expect him to not really fight bums, Matter of fact, when you really look at it, bro, he's only 5-0. He's already fighting a guy 12-1. I mean, you see guys with some pretty good amateur careers that don't step up that fast. I'll be honest with you, bro. Like to me, this is a real rough step up. Like, unless Rockman's record is completely overrated. I mean, I don't know, because I haven't seen Rockman physically box. It's just he does come from a boxing background, Rockman, so I can't see him being horrible. It's like it's just blowing my mind, bro. Because Jake Paul really is. He's stepping up a lot.
Who were you expecting? Because we were before.
I was expecting. I don't know. I was expecting.
We made a list.
No, not an Ocho Cinco. Ocho Cinco is basically like a Nate Robinson, right? So you can't go backwards. I was even expecting another MMA fighter, honestly. To be honest, like I would have expected another MMA guy. Like another MMA guy would have been easier than bro, Rockman Jr. Like again, I haven't seen him, but from what I'm gathering on paper, he probably beat McGregor in a boxing match. You know what I'm saying? I could see Jake Paul, if he can win this fight, he'd box McGregor next. You know what I'm saying? Like I could see that happening. You know what I'm saying?
For McGregor,
always has been.
Yeah, like if Jake Paul beats Rockman Jr., he probably beats McGregor in boxing too, bro. Because odds are Rockman Jr. is probably a better boxer than McGregor. So I mean, maybe this is why he's stepping up so much, because he wants to actually chase that fight. So in order to sort of earn his keep, he's got to basically show that he can, beat a guy like Rockman Jr. And then, not only would he be able to acquire the McGregor fight, but, he'd probably be picked by most people to beat McGregor if he's able to beat Rockman Jr., So but it would be a great sell because, MMA fans and mainly McGregor fans are the dumbest fans in sports. So you'd have a nice sell because you'd have enough people that would think McGregor could win. No, that's a fact. That's not an opinion. That's actually a fact. Like there's no dumber sports fans than those guys, man. I mean,
top 5 dumbest sports fans by sport. Where'd you go?
McGregor fans 1, McGregor fans 2. McGregor fans 3, 4, and 5. They take the cake, bro. I'm telling you. The reasoning, the rhyme and reason is insane, bro. It's insane. Like you actually get dumber. You actually get dumber having a conversation with them on any kind of combat. So you can't even have the conversation because by osmosis you'll get dumber. So you can't even risk that.
Saying McGregor whooped you.
Yeah, I know. Your mother whooped me. Honestly, that's what I mean. But that's exactly what I'm talking about. That's exactly what I'm talking about. That's exactly what I'm talking about. You still have 5 years later, 4 seconds, not even consecutive, and that's all he's showing you because that's all he can show you. And you still have those guys convinced, not even questioning, like, man, he's probably lying. Like at this point, you've got to tell yourself, man, he probably lied. Like he probably did get his ass whooped by Paulie, but nah, bro, they're hardcore, straight up. Nah, McGregor whooped him. Not an ounce of doubt in their mind when they say that. They say that with their chest out. It's like you can't chronologically create a dumber sports fan. You can't do it. You can't make a dumber sports fan exist than that. Because that's their sport. They watch combat sports and still can't put that together. You know what I mean? Like if you're get me a regular library nerd who never watched a combat sport, and maybe he wouldn't be able to put that together. But these are people that watch the sport and then can't put that logic together in their mind. That you can't create a dumber fan than that. You can't create that much dumber of a person than that.
They're saying get in the cage with McGregor then, Paulie.
So we can break his leg
If I was
again?
broke, maybe. See, that's what McGregor was trying. I actually got offered to get in the cage. Not long after that sparring, I got offered to it never reached a financial offer, but I got offered to get in the cage with McGregor. But I think they were thinking like maybe like I needed the money or something like that. Like I wasn't doing it for the money. Like I said, if me and McGregor were ever to box, it would only be done under a winner takes all circumstance. He would not be allowed to make money on that fight. I would have to kick the shit out of him and he not get paid on it. So unless that offer came, unless the deal, the contract was winner takes all, he would not. I would never even fight McGregor at this point, even in boxing, because the loser has to not get paid. That's how it has to be.
So why do you think Logan Paul did better than against Mayweather than McGregor? Somebody just asked that.
I think I honestly I probably think Mayweather just didn't really consider Logan Paul much. And, Mayweather was a little older. He's been away from the gym a little while longer. I feel like Mayweather trains more now than he was right after that. Like in the McGregor fight, Mayweather was still like just post-retirement. So when you're just post-retirement, I feel like you don't train as much. Then you kind of just start getting back in and getting yourself a little bit of shape just to maintain your status, right? I feel like Mayweather now doing all these exhibitions trains more now than he probably trained in the couple of years after his retirement. So I feel like the McGregor fight, he probably wasn't training as much, even with the Logan Paul fight. He wasn't training as much, but because after the Logan Paul fight, he's kind of just been in the gym. He's taken this fight in the UAE. I think he had another fight that was canceled before that. Like you can kind of see Mayweather's been training now. You know what I'm saying? Like consistently.
Yeah, so
but
he said he offered McGregor 160K. I mean 160 mil for a
yeah.
match.
Yeah, of course. Because like I said, I think Mayweather is probably more training more consistently now than he was.
It's the money thing.
No, bro, it's free money. Mayweather spends money like it's water. You know what I mean?
Easy money.
It's literally Floyd money Mayweather.
I feel like Mayweather's been training more now than he ever trained at any point during the McGregor camp. I really feel that. You know what I'm saying? Like I went to the gym one day and Mayweather just was shadowboxing and that's it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you can tell the way he fought the fight against McGregor. He didn't do a single thing that relied on timing. He just
Paulie.
him down.
Yo, you just got a lot quieter. Do you cover? Are you covering your mic?
Nah. You hear me?
Yeah.
We're back. All right.
Yeah.
I feel like as I was getting on the phone call. I feel like Mayweather is training harder now than he ever was at any point during that McGregor training camp.
You're frozen here. Let me cut to myself. Here, let me cut to myself. I'm cutting to me. Wait, we got Paulie on. We're gonna try to get him back. Paulie, you're still there?
Should I call back?
Yeah. Hey, we're just waiting on Paulie. Sorry about that. We'll kick it to Pasta. Introduce yourself.
What's up, everybody? My name's Austin. Jimmy calls me Pasta because elementary school.
There we go.
You hear me?
There we go.
There we go. We got
Magic
him back.
man.
We got him back. The sound just got really
No,
low.
I'm back.
We're back.
Yeah. What am I saying? I'm popular. People are calling me. What am I gonna say? So that's the long and short of it. I feel like Mayweather.
Did I just see it on social media and it's fake that Mayweather actually did knock out Logan Paul but held him up, or is that nonsense?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. People say that, but I don't. That was. I mean, I think he hit him with a good shot. I don't think he held him up.
Okay.
But like I said, I mean, I don't think Mayweather ever stepped on the gas fully for either of those fights. I don't think he ever trained that hard for either of those fights.
Gary Starbucks
and you can tell
McGregor would kill us all.
He would for sure kill me.
Bro, you know what? When McGregor doesn't have the balls to kill anybody, bro. You know what I mean? Like he doesn't have like people make it because you can do a couple of people watch too many Van Damme movies, bro. That guy's got no balls. Like you just gotta put him in a bad position. I don't care how many karate kicks or knees he can give. That guy's doesn't have the balls to take it that far. Like if you hit him in the head with a steel pipe, like he's gonna beg you for his life, bro. I'm telling you, he's got no balls. He's not gonna get mad and like pick up something and hit you back or like start flinging karate kicks, or he's actually gonna like get on his knees and beg you not to kill him. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm telling you, that guy, you can tell in every reaction he's had. Every reaction he's had to negativity in any fight, you can tell what his reaction is always the same. You can't give balls to a guy with no balls. It's a genetic thing. He's got to blame his parents. You know, you either have those or you don't, bro.
Do you really believe somebody like Floyd can KO a 190 guy? Come on.
That is the dumb question.
Yeah,
That's what
yeah, I do think a guy like Floyd can KO 190 guy. I mean, we've seen small guys actually KO bigger guys even in street fights and whatnot. You know, definitely. But you know, but the gloves in Floyd's defense, the gloves were 12 ounces, so they're a little bigger than the 8-ounce standard that Floyd was usually wearing in his pro career. But the 12 ounces are no joke. Don't get me wrong. I mean, it's still not
they
that.
fought with
They're
12.
still not that. Not. They're still not that. They're still not that. You know, big. But you know,
MMA's
whatever,
4,
man. I mean,
boxing's 8, and then 12 is just pe- for pussies or
what is it?
for. I thought pro boxing is 8 ounce. MMA
Pro
is
boxing is
4.
8 ounce up until welterweight, and then you 10 ounces after that.
Oh, you have to.
Yeah, well, in most commissions, yeah.
Most commissions.
Yeah.
So like a heavyweight fight wouldn't be with 8 just because it'd be too.
It wouldn't be 10. It wouldn't be 10. No, it wouldn't be 8. No. Back in the day, I mean, heavyweight fights were 6 ounces, but I've actually seen those old school gloves. They were very front heavy. You know what I'm saying? I feel like the gloves now are smaller. It's just the weight is there's less padding on the knuckles. They're just distributed differently on the weight. I've seen those old time gloves, and they're all padded on the front. All the weight is on the front. So even if they're 6 ounces, all the weight is on the front. You know.
That's really weird. All right, well let's wrap it up with a few questions from the fans. Mostly people are just saying you gotta have the balls to do that. Still, people bringing up Mayweather. Paulie, would you ever do? Would you? Oh, actually, I actually like this. Would you do Broner 2 now? If Broner wins his next fight?
No. I wouldn't do any of those things. Like I said before, you know, I even turned down that exhibition with Dan Hardy on that Hatton card, which I think got canceled. By the way, did the Hatton thing got
I
canceled?
don't even know if it happened because I didn't see any highlights.
I think
Yeah,
I think it got canceled,
got
but
canceled.
they had offered me Dan Hardy on that show, and you know I turned it down. Like
It got
I wouldn't
canceled.
I wouldn't do any of these anymore. You know, like I would even Broner. Broner had to be like the missing the boat on the Broner rematch was because there was a world title on the line as well. You know, so you would have had a trilogy with me and Broner with the WBA, the main WBA welterweight world championship on the line. So it would have been like the elite of the elite level fight promotability and all that and competitiveness as well because we were both very evenly matched fighters. So the allure of the Broner fight is gone. You know, I mean, there's no allure there. You know, I would never come back for any of that. I wouldn't come back for anything at all, but let alone for
What about for Jessica?
and, yeah, even for Jessica, even even for even for side piece chicken nuggets.
Not even for Jessica. All right, well, let's wrap it up because that camera's dead. This was good. 40 minutes live. Can't complain. Paulie Monaudio from LA to BK. Paulie, you want to wrap it up?
That's it from LA to BK. Did we get anybody on here? Yo, you know what you got to do?
Yeah,
Everybody go to ProBoxTV.com. Order the app. It's only $1.99 a month. We're doing Cesar Francis versus Ray Beltran this weekend. We got fights all year round. We are going to be the boxing home. It's a worldwide app, and it's just $1.99 a month. Go to ProBoxTV.com. Me, Roy Jones, Antonio Tarver are going to be calling the action this Saturday night.
Legends.
We're going on before the Showtime show.
Legends.
There's a Showtime show Saturday night, so we're going to go on before the Showtime show. We're going to go on a little earlier, and we'll be off the air so you can catch up on the Showtime show on Saturday night. But all through the year, we've got great events on ProBoxTV.com. And for just $1.99 a month, you know, you guys can all afford it, and you'll get all that boxing content.
We got some
That's
yearly
my
members
going
already.
away. That's my going away. Goodbye for yous.
Okay, cool. We'll see you guys next week. I think Wednesdays. You like Wednesdays? Or are you
Yeah.
in City Wednesdays? Most Wednesdays. Or
Yeah, I mean Tuesdays, Wednesdays. I don't know. We'll figure it out, bro. You know,
figure it out.
we'll get a schedule
All
going.
right, from
All right.
LBK episode 2.
Yo, Ryan Garcia comes back this week, by the way.
Next weekend.
Yeah,
Next
July
weekend.
16th.
Oh, it's next
July
weekend.
16th.
Oh, yeah,
So
it's next
we'll-
weekend. All right,
we'll do
we'll
something on
discuss
that
Ryan next weekend.
All right, awesome.
Yeah, we'll do some. All right, guys.
Thanks, guys.
All right, thanks
All
for
right, man.
everybody
Damn.
tuning in there. All right, we'll catch you later.